Yeah,
There we
actually,
go.
we can. Yeah, right. Hi, guys. Welcome to the intro call for the ladies, for the lady. And actually, I was listening to the Gary's call on lady, and I was reading the book and everything, and I just realized like it's such a beautiful energy to have lady and women contribute to you, and so it's like really like what if a lady is also someone who actually is about inviting other ladies, you know what I mean, like the energy of like when women can step up into being a contribution for each other, and which is such a beautiful energy because I was listening to how Faina and Rose were coordinating, and I was like, and the minute they started talking, oh, sorry about that. The minute they started talking, it's like my body just, and I was like rushing to get ready and everything, and my body just relaxed. And I was like, oh, I'm just so grateful for, Fina, Rose, Priya, to be that contribution that they are in my world. So it's like, what if we could just really, create a demand in our world also to invite ladies who are contribution to us as well. So I know it's a strange start, but yeah, like what if the lady is really about joy of embodiment, of having a woman body, and also the energy of uh, for people also to get an awareness of who's functioning from that space as well, and where you can function more from the space of being the lady. So how many of you have read the book? Yeah, and like Rose said, I really love seeing your faces. So it just, if you can, and I know it's late in the night for a lot of you, but we would love to see your faces. It just gives us a different sense of like, yay, thank you for showing up, guys. And yeah, so how many of you have read the book or have started reading the book? You have? Cool. And you know um, so does anyone have any questions or anything, like may I just ask you, like, if there was anything that you could get out of this free intro call itself, what would it be?
Elegance,
If there was anything, sorry, what are you saying, Pina?
uh, being elegance and could contribute to our lives to expand our life.
To our lives, yeah. And you said elegance, like, oh god, like I can so relate to that. Elegance is the way how Gary describes, and I find that like such a cool way of what elegance really is. Like elegance is put uh, creating the greatest result with the least amount of effort, and that actually is such an energy of a lady. It's not like the gentlemen don't do it, okay, but this just helps us recognize the beauty with which a lady can do that. And the call is not about it's not about a separation between men and women. It's about acknowledging what being a lady and the lady's abilities are, and actually appreciating the difference, you know with respect to what a gentleman can create. And how many of you love to create? Like, I can call myself a creation junkie, and I know that about Rose and Faina too. Like, creation, I like, we love to create. And so how many of you, and it's like, how many of you love creating? How many of you um, are looking to create? Yeah. And this is really about, the call is really about getting those energies in your world, actually not just getting those energies about just you as well, but also inviting those energies that are there on the planet, in your world, to create something else for you. So everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, receive, perceive the energy of uh, the lady energy in your world and the lady energy around you, would you please destroy and uncreate it all times about Celine? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all nine shells, boys and beyonds. Because and I see some beautiful men here on the call as well. And thank you for joining. Because like okay, someone admitting the, or should I be admitting the participants, or is someone doing
I'm
handling
doing
that? Because I
I'm
see.
doing that. I've got
All right,
that. Got I've got your
perfect.
back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that today, especially. And so how many of you get a sense of, so the book, The Lady, is about, have the energies that can show up in your world. So how many of you get a sense of that? Not just the women, even the men can have those energies in their world, right? And everything that doesn't allow you to have infinite beings with the energy of the lady in your world, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all nine shows, boys and beyonds. Because end of the day, we're all infinite beings. Okay. And the way the book, The Lady and the Gentleman's Club and Return of the Gentleman, what they basically create, the beautiful thing that they create is the awareness of the possibilities, the awareness of possible energies that are available in your world to invite, be it for you or be it for everyone else around you. So everything that doesn't allow you to have that with ease, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork, all nine shows, boys and the answer. Because one of the things about being a lady is actually having ease. And I was talking to someone, and this lady was like, well, this is not ease, and what's not ease, I don't choose that. And that's a great awareness. Okay, like if there is some ease, if you are, because consciousness kind of shows up in your world with ease. Okay, and at the same time, this is ease is not a prerequisite. How do I say? Okay, can we mute everyone, please? Oh, you're joined. Okay, so ease is not a prerequisite, as in ease is not a condition based on which you decide what to let in your world or not. Ease is about whatever shows up in your world, the strangest, the chaos, the intense, everything that shows up in your world, you have the ability to ask for that to show up with the ease. You have the ability to receive that with ease. And that is the space of creation, because when you start receiving things with ease, they start you start opening up a lot of people, sometimes people call it blank space. Sometimes people are like, oh my god, this change, but they don't know what's changed. Somebody cooking. Rita, honey, are you cooking? Can you mute yourself, please? And the reason I'm saying is like, because after, when people listen to the recording, then I get messages from so many people, and they're like, oh my god, there was this woman who was breathing on the phone, like, please tell people. And I'm like, okay, cool, I will, for you, because we have each other's back here too. And so yeah, so please go ahead and mute yourself, mute yourself. And if you have a question, please feel free to unmute or put it in the chat or whatever is comfortable for you. And yeah, a couple is saying love to create. And so it's and that is your ability as an infinite being, to create. You are always going to create. Now it's up to you, what is it that you would like to create? You could create crap, which is something a lot of people do. And or you could create from awareness and consciousness. So if you were creating from awareness, what elements would you like to add to your world? Because that can a superpower, or a ability, or a capacity of a lady to choose, to be the choosing one. that a lady's ability is to be the choosing one. What do I mean by that? How many of you let others choose? And how many of you are like, listen, I don't have any point of view about it, so you guys go ahead and choose. And that is cool. That is great, because that is the allowance that you are being, okay? But to be at an effect of something is a good indicator that you are not the choosing one at that time. So if you were the choosing one, what would you create in your life? What would you choose? So can I ask you guys, what would you choose if you were the choosing one? What would you like to choose? And everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, receive, perceive, and have clarity of that, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, online shows, worlds, and beyond. Because a lot of you have done foundations, and you know, like infinite being's ability is infinite perceiving, infinite receiving, infinite being, and infinite knowing. Yeah. And at the same time, you also have an ability to have clarity. So everything that does not allow you to have clarity of what your abilities are here in the now, okay? In the now, what your abilities are today. Can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Times of God, setting right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, all, and shows, goes beyond. Because clarity is the first step you take towards being the choosing one. So if you have clarity, then you can ask another question. Like first thing you ask is, what will it take for me to have clarity here? Then the next choice, based on that, you can choose again to, and you know, you're choosing to have clarity. Then you choose then you choose something else, and based on that, you ask for that to show up as well. So you can choose to have ease. When you choose to have ease, then you can ask a question about it. But the first step that you have to take is make a choice. So what is it that you would like to choose today in the now? What are you choosing? Okay, so in these 10 seconds, if you had 10 seconds to live the rest of your life, what would you choose? Happy? Okay, cool. I can, yeah, I can read lips now. So happy, cool. All right, rest of you died. So now if you have 10 seconds to live the rest of your life, what would you choose? Anyone who's brave enough to speak? Who wants to go?
Pizza.
Pizza? Cool. All right. Okay, you have 10 seconds to live the rest of your life. What would you choose?
Create new
Canada.
meaning.
Okay, type, chat, put it in the chat. Okay, cool. All right. I don't know. Carrie, were you saying something? Okay. Rita, you want to say?
Me and drive on towards the beach.
Towards you? What?
Drive to the beach.
Or you're on the drive to the beach. Okay, drive to the beach is what you're choosing. You live like 5 minutes away from the beach. Okay, cool. I'm happy that you're choosing that. Okay, good. Choose. Cool. Let's get choosing actually. If you have 10 seconds to live the rest of your life, what are you gonna choose?
Create new meaning.
Canada.
Canada, to move to Canada. Okay, cool. If you have 10 seconds to live, create new me. Okay, cool. I love that. And I love Canada. And just basically, yes, choose. Let's get to choosing. If you have each one, guys, we're probably not going to move forward if you're not choosing right now. If you have the 10 seconds to live the rest of your life, what are you choosing?
Create new
Drinking.
healing.
Drinking, new healing. Okay, cool. Who else?
To be more at ease as a woman.
To have more ease as a woman. Cool. Yeah. And choose. Okay, and how about choose? You can choose to be on this call for 10 seconds.
To laugh
Okay?
aloud.
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's no right choice to laugh aloud. And you know, and it's like there's no right or wrong choice. But what's important is that you choose. You
Create
get to
new
choose
money.
it. New money. Okay, I love that. Couple is gonna go. I love that. All right, cool. And you can choose what your other participants are choosing too. What's important is that you get to choosing. That is what makes you the dominant entity in the world. So everywhere you are not willing to be the dominant entity, to be the dominant one, Would you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, all that shows. I love that. So we choose to be a dominant entity. Yeah. All right. And choose to swim. Cool. And, so like, okay, so what if you have, what have you decided? And this may not apply to all of you, but maybe some of you, let me know. What have you decided is going to happen if you be the dominant entity? How many how many of you are go into the worst case scenario of like, if I be the dominant entity, I'll probably kill everybody, or I'll destroy something, I'll screw something up, or something, or whatever. So what are you? Okay. So what justification are you using to avoid being the dominant entity that you could be choosing? Everything that is times the Godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, all nine shows, boys and beyonds. And what justification are you using to avoid being the dominant entity that you're choosing? Everything that is times the Godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, all nine shows, boys and beyonds. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equal to MC square of not being the dominant entity in your own life? You're choosing. Everything that is times the Godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equal to MC square to keep the dominance of not you in this reality you're choosing? Everything that is times the Godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong,
Can
good.
I ask a question, Shivam?
Yes, please go for it.
So there are certain moments, or there are certain times, you're coming from a space of, you just don't want to choose, you just want to be with yourself. And so that would consider as a choice or no choice. What would you like?
Well, what is it for you? Because if I choose to be in my own space, I'm choosing.
Okay.
Okay.
So there is maybe just being and not doing.
Oh no. Being and doing are not two separate things. When you're being, you're already doing. But when you're doing, you may not be being.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of people, and thank you for bringing that up, because I would like to clarify. A lot of people think that just being means not doing anything. No. It's like, okay, like couch potato, like sitting on the sofa and watching TV. What are you doing? Hey, I'm just being. No, you're not being. That is not being. That is you probably doing tons of other things, and probably not doing anything, but that is not so much the energy of being. Like, what if I gave you for me, the being energy is like being and so dynamically aware of everything. My bank accounts, my financial reality, my relationship reality. Okay, my body's reality. What would being aware of, and also what my clients require of me, and my creation reality, my creationship reality. It's about being aware of all of those things. Okay, all right, and then also being in question of what is it that I require to do for my business, for my money, for my creationship, for my clients, for me, for my body, being in that question the whole time of what and when do I have to act. Do you see how that is kind of like a lot different from like, okay, I'm just being like that is not being, that is people checking out and not having awareness. When you are being, you have like dynamic, explosive amount of awareness, and you have dynamic amount of receiving. It's almost like, and that is the dominant entity. Okay. And like when you say like, okay, sometimes I'd like to be in my own space, ask yourself, and that is the thing that only you can know at that time. When you ask yourself the question, am I choosing this because I don't want to choose anything, or am I just choosing to have a quiet time? And really, what am I choosing here? Next
So
question.
normally the question is not be like I don't want to choose to do anything.
Okay.
I don't want to do anything because but you're saying like being is also part of, so doing is a part of being that I got.
Yeah.
There are moments like I just want to snuggle with myself and that's all. So
Yeah.
am I checking out? I don't even want to be in the question because again the question is going to create something, and then again I'm in that being and doing.
Okay. What is question going to create? What do you get? What according to you question is going to create? Even if you ask a question, oh, what am I choosing here?
Yeah.
You, and that's another thing of ability. So can I ask you something? Because there was among everything that you said, there was this energy of I don't even want to question. I don't even want to ask a question.
Yeah.
And that's a choice. Okay. But may I invite you to asking what would that create? And that's the thing. There is no right choice or wrong choice, but a great question to ask is, and everything is a choice. It's okay, but a great question to ask at that time, and that is about choosing from awareness rather than choosing from unconsciousness. A great question to ask at that time is, okay, what would this create if I choose not to ask a question? If I choose not to even ask a question?
I'm still asking a question then.
Yeah, yeah. And what would that create?
Yeah.
Okay, because that would give you an awareness of this thing of what you not asking a question right now would create.
Okay.
And that's the thing, like, yeah, I mean, how many of us have actually heard this, read this somewhere? Because when you're not being a question, then you're only being judgment, decisions, and conclusion.
Okay.
Okay, so a good, and I know you're like, I don't want to ask a question, but like I'm like loading you with questions, but it's like a good like, and I know that space. I'm also familiar with that space, and you're like, oh fuck, I don't want to ask a question, and then I'm like, okay, cool. What conclusion am I using here that that I would rather have the conclusion than go into a question right now?
Okay.
Okay, so what's the value? And again, like, what's the value of not asking questions? What's the value of not being the question? What's the value of not being in question? Everywhere you have decided that if I ask the question, then I have to do something about it. And I'm just saying it randomly, okay? Or like just more like energetically, it may not be true just in your world. Everything that is, would you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, 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 make sure it's poison, beyond. You choosing not to do anything is a choice. It just means that you're choosing not to do anything. Okay, are you choosing not to choose anything is still a choice. A good thing to ask at that time is, okay, what would that create? And sometimes like like there was this loads of information that came my way today, and I was like, okay, what? All right, and then I was like, okay, totally, like brain function was like, okay, cool, not to, the only thing that I just chose the entire day was, what is it? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it? That's all I chose all day. Okay, so it's like, what is it? What do I do with it? And then, like, a couple of hours later, I was like, okay, cool, interesting point of view. And then I chose it more and more of interesting point of view. So, but do you get, like, when you choose to go into the reality of conclusion, you stop having your back.
Yes.
So no matter, and that's a choice too. That's a choice too. Only thing is, what would that choice create?
Fine.
Yeah. And some days it's like, and I know you're someone like who gets her bars run like million times like a year, and I love that about you. So it's like every time I think of you, and I'm like, okay, she's probably just sitting somewhere getting her bars run. And so it's like, I know that when you're saying that, dude, I just want to be in my space at times, and that is a choice, and that's a cool choice, because sometimes that is such a contributing choice, but you
So
don't.
actually, it was more of the doing. So like you keep choosing, you're in the question, you're making choices, and then things are showing up, and then again, it's like in that. So the last year had been like so much doing, so much doing. So
Yeah.
now the lockdown was like so much gratitude that I'm not doing. So I'm
Yeah.
just being.
What if doing is your ability to know? What if doing has to be about only knowing when?
Knowing when.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that?
When to do it, when to do something.
Okay.
Like I have oh yeah, like I have if I have to send an email, I know I have to do it, I just leave it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it right now, so then I just leave it to, I was like, hey, can you just let me know when? And I just let it go. And when that pops up, then the energy in me is like, whoa, okay, this is all I have to do right now, and I'm not going to do anything else until I finish that. That is a different, which all of you probably are familiar with that too. Like when you're like, okay, now, that is your ability to acknowledge that, okay, now is the time. So what if, so, and that's the thing, it's like a lady is also like uh, infinite beings with women bodies have an ability to be dynamically aware of future. Okay. So when you are aware of, when people are aware of doing, just ask yourself, is it for now, or am I just aware of taking this action in the future?
But keep the question going.
Yes. I mean, you don't have to, if that, but you can just see what that will create for you. You don't have to, but that's what I do. I do my best to, and sometimes it's like, I mean, I used to joke about this a lot. I was like, sometimes I just ask the question, what the fuck? You know, it's,
Because sometimes you're so much in the question that your head is whirring.
So how much are you doing being in question from head? Because being in question is not from the head. So how much time and energy is it sucking for you to? How much time and energy are you investing in coming up with the perfect question?
I don't go for perfect. It's like now my questions are very basic. What is
Yeah.
this? What is actually possible here?
That's it. And not even what is actually possible here, because there is, in the way you're saying it, there is a energy of like, there's a charge here. Okay, where it's like, what is actually possible here, as if like something that is showing up, you're not so much maybe in receiving of that, so you're like, okay, what is actually possible here, let that show up now.
So
right?
not letting go, to just be.
Yeah. And actually, yeah, and can I just say, the 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 greatest space to ask a question is from receiving what is showing up right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So I'll be, because like, how many of you have heard people go like, oh, what will it take, like with that energy, and then some of them are like, okay, cool, what will that take, like that could be fun, okay, what will that take? Different energies, right? It's like, you could just ask yourself, like, am I going into question from resistance of what is showing up right now, or am I totally, and receiving will have the energy of gratitude always.
Okay.
You can, like, receiving and gratitude kind of are like bum chums, they go hand in hand. Okay, like they like to come together. Okay, so it's like, so it's like, okay, cool, fine. Okay, and sometimes like a question like, okay, what will it take for me to just receive this with total ease? That too. But like, receive, and that will take you away from the head.
Yeah.
That is what drains people a lot more and that's when they're like totally brain fried. They go brain fried and they're like, oh fuck it, I'm not gonna even do a question, I'm not gonna do blah blah, I'm just gonna like,
So
yeah.
how do you bridge the gap between asking the question and being the question? How
You
do I
don't bridge, you do both simultaneously.
Okay.
One contribute, I will not even say that you have to be one and then the other one happens. Both those energies add to each other.
So it's like, you're not using your head to ask the question.
And you can't use your head when
Yeah.
you're being a
So
question.
just be it, like,
Yeah. And sometimes I just ask, like instead of like framing a question, I'm just like, okay, what question am I being right now?
okay.
Or and really and like you said earlier, Rita, like the ones that are basics, they are the easiest. Like, how does it get better than that? And sometimes people have a charge for that. If you get that, sometimes you have a charge for that. Just ask, what else is possible now? What is it? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it?
Okay. So when something is not changing, like, I'm not able to perceive the change, then, there's a little that charge, like, what can I be? Or I'm fed up, universe, show me something, like.
Well, at that time, Rita, because okay, so guys, Rita is like, she's someone like who can be a bulldozer with a whole childlike energy, and who I can totally relate to is in the terms of like she loves to see things show up the way she likes them to show up. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a wrongness.
So
Okay.
actually, I want to share something, so some days back,
Yeah.
money. So my son was into freelancing events, which are like totally 6 months, nothing. My husband's payments were not coming. So I told them, like, I'm fed up of your nonsense. You all have to take charge. I'm out of it all. You all better do something about this.
Yeah.
And you won't believe my son, within a week, he's got a job.
Awesome. And then when you like, going back to what you said before, like when you want something to change, could you just add, like, just see without any charge, really just ask a question, what's right about this I'm not getting?
So my thing when I saw this call thing was like, where am I being the lady or am I not being the lady, or am I just being the bulldozer?
Oh, bulldozer is being a lady too. Only thing is, so it's not, lady knows what tool to use when.
Okay, great. Then
Lady
I'm happy.
lady knows how to, lady being a lady is about having the knowing, okay, having the knowing of which tool will create the greatest. And each one of these, being a bitch, being a bulldozer, being kindness, being rude, or being totally calm or tolerant, these are all your tools. That's not you. These are your tools. Being a lady is about having the knowing of which of your tools, which of your ability will create the greatest.
Okay, great.
That's elegance.
Yes.
Like the elegance is like that sometimes you're like, okay, like this sweet talking is not working, and bulldozer, and the result gets created in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, like, yeah. And then elegance is knowing that, okay, the pure bulldozer will not work. A different engagement will work, because being a bulldozer, being a sweet talker, being a sweet person, being a cunning person, these are all your abilities to engage. And a lady is always an engagement.
Oh, great. Okay. So, I had got little, because lady, I have a different projection of lady. And I was reading Salon de Femme, where Gary's talking about being the vixen and the seductress and the warrior woman you are. So it was like totally, for me, it was like poles apart. Being a lady.
Yeah, that's the definition. Like you had like two
Yeah.
different definitions of, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
A
So now
lady
it's
can be the, and a lady is the seduction energy as well. And you just have to ask, what does that mean, instead of using your definition.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, it's like, isn't a child a seductor, is a seduction being, like
Of
totally
course.
seductor or seductress,
Yeah.
and they get
Totally.
everything done. So
Yeah.
what if you choosing to create a greater life could be and seduction is about being an invitation.
Yes. Yeah, got it.
And how many, and how do you guys get like how much seduction also is about including your body in creation?
Mm.
Yeah, totally different ways of looking at it, right? Yeah.
Okay. So can you help me with a clearing where I'm avoiding to use the body every time for
Would you like to come for the book club? I mean, I'll give you tons of clearings. But yeah,
okay,
sure, I can help you with the clearing now too.
fine. Thank you. You can go on with
No,
another
that's okay. I'll help you. What's wrong with you? Of course, I'll help you with the clearing. Come on,
problem.
I'm teasing you. Come on.
No, so for me it was like I am still the awareness is like when I say being and doing. So for doing is like you're using your body, and somewhere I don't know, I have a point of view that I don't want to use my body too much. I want to like a lady just be docile and or like a queen energy, get the things done and delegate
How
everything.
many? Yeah, how many definitions are you using about queen and lady?
Yeah,
That's this
and luckily,
reality's. That's
yeah,
this
like
reality's way of looking at lady and queen.
I don't want to be the Gada Mazuri type of person anymore.
Yeah. So what if that's your awareness, and be still be willing to, yeah, and like Fina said, be and being willing to be anything, right? So it's like working hard is a choice. You can only just ask, okay, if I choose not to work hard, what will that create?
Okay.
And sometimes that is sometimes that's like really expensive for me. I'm like, okay, cool, like, all right, I will not work hard. And sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I gotta get to work on this.
Yeah.
So ask, okay, what will that, because you get an awareness, now you have to ask a question. Okay, how many of you actually use an awareness to decide that that is the ultimate truth? And how many of you are in pursuit of awareness to be in pursuit of ultimate truth? Awareness is energy. Energy does not have an ultimate truth. It's just always changing. So what you can do is you get awareness, and now you can use that to ask a question. Everything that does not allow those abilities for you to show up with total ease, would you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and cold, all nine shells, boys and beyonds. So yeah, like I don't know if that's the clearing that you wanted, Rita, but like
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it is.
okay, cool, all right.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for your question. And cool. So who else do we have? Janine. Yeah, I thought I saw the screen go green. Do you have a question, honey? Yeah. Oh, she doesn't. Does she?
Hello, can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Sorry, my screen's gone into safe driving mode, so I wasn't sure how to work it. So, choosing for me has become a little bit difficult because in the past I made choices that led me down very difficult roads. And so there's sometimes parts of me that are, for one thing, afraid to make choices. And then also when you're talking about the lady can choose to be all sort of energies, I'm also quite terrified of being the angry, explosive one because I've been around, I've hurt people that way in the past, choosing incorrectly. And people have also hurt me very badly in that way. So I wish to be different energies around that, but I don't always know how to.
Yeah.
So there's those two things of like, I'm afraid to choose in case it's a mess. And I don't allow myself to choose because it's a mess.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's the thing. It's like we how many of us, and are in the ask for kinder energies to show up in our world. Yeah, kinder people to show up in our world. And 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 at the same time, like we are not able to see where we are not choosing that for to be that with ourselves. So when you don't allow yourself something, like, is that kindness? And then the thing is like, how about you look at it a little bit differently and and ask yourself, like, and so let me ask you here, like, do you try to make right choice, good choice? Do you not allow yourself to choose, or you will only allow yourself to choose if it is a good choice?
Yeah, I try to find the best possible choice. It's true. I try to avoid being wrong and choose what would work for the best for myself and everybody else around me.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of control, trying to figure out what that is.
And how's that going?
That's terrible.
So would you like to give that up?
Please, yes.
So what would you like to choose now if you had to give it up?
I would like to be able to choose to know how to discern in each moment what I would say what the best choice is.
Have you read the 10 Keys book? I know I'm talking about the lady book and I'm like talking about another book, but have you read the 10 Keys book, or have you sat in a foundation? Like, discernment is form of light judgment. It's like, you know how you have Bud Light? You have discernment is judgment light. Okay? So it's a sweet way of masking judgment but still choosing judgment.
Okay.
Okay, so discernment itself is becomes about, like, okay, am I making a right choice, am I making a wrong choice? What if you could ask, so can I just give you like, and see what you're asking? These are great questions. Only thing is, they kind of like go a little bit step by step, you know, and I'll do my best to cover those now, but with a choice, like, anytime you catch it, first of all, it's your choice to get out of the rightness and wrongness of choice. You know, I'll say that again. The first step, and like how Janine, you're probably making a choice right now by asking a question about it and being vulnerable about it. The first thing is that you make a choice to be like, okay, what else is possible if I didn't have to make a right choice or wrong choice? That is choice number one. Now, the second thing is, like, when you get aware that this is what you're doing, right choice, wrong choice, a very quick, easy way is, and this only helps if you're making the choice of getting out of it, okay? But a very quick, easy way is, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I choose to be angry, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I don't choose to be angry, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I choose to say this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I choose not to say this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? Let that energy lead you. So then you don't have to, because that cannot be computed by the mind. That's why 5 years. Okay? So what if you could let that energy lead you, and because when you choose for the lightness of you, you create more lightness in your life. Okay? So now with this, like, if you ask this question and then ask that question again, like 2 minutes later, 10 seconds later, again, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I don't choose it, because, and I totally get you, Janine. Like, I kind of was brought up and that way, and I was like the perfect child. I would do the perfect child of not doing anything wrong. Then even as an adult, I would do perfect relationships, like not do anything wrong. Like, doing anything wrong was like, I don't know, like as bad as being a terrorist in my world. Let me just put it that way, okay? But what it would do for me was, like, it was killing me. It was like, and it was draining me. It was killing me, and my joy was like in the neighbor's house, but never in my world. I completely lost sense of joy as a result, because I was so focused on doing things right. I was focused on being a right daughter. I was focused on being a right a lover. I was focused on being a right business person. I was focused on being a right boss, and all of that. Okay. And the biggest gift, and that's the part where I'm like, some of these things are basically the kindest things to you that you can choose for you. Okay. And the kindest thing for me was like, oh, okay, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I don't choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? And I let that be the energy that leads me. Does that help?
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And with the anger, um, uh, if you've done foundation, take a look at that topic again, with the anger chapter.
Yeah, I
And
haven't done foundation
okay,
yet. I'm doing
okay.
my best to
Oh,
get
yeah,
the
cool.
income together for it, but it's on the way.
Okay, cool. So because uh, anger is a glump of a lot of things. Okay, it's not just anger is a potency and anger is a distractor implant. It can show up as both. Okay, so you have to there is a different way of addressing it and looking at it. But for now, I would just say, could you, everywhere you have, all of you have blamed yourself, gone into the blame, shame, guilt, regret of choosing anger. Could you give it up, please, for 10 seconds? Could you choose to get out of your judgment of you, please? For 10 seconds. Everything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, poor, purple, and short voice and beyond. Okay? And until then, until you get a sense of like, okay, anger, like I don't get, like, until then, just ask. Just a very simple, basic question, but it's a beautiful, powerful question. Okay, if I choose to yell at this person, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I don't choose to yell at this person, what will my life be? If I choose to explode, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I don't choose to explode, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? Okay, instead of, and anger, just as a teaser, at the topmost level, anger is a distractor implant. Okay, at the topmost level, right? Then after a few levels, it's also the energy of potency. But to get a clarity on whether it's a potency or not, if the anger shows up, I get it, like, when you're angry, you don't even want to ask a question, you just want to be angry. Okay, so just build that muscle to pot the distractor implant of anger, rage, hate, fury. Then you have at least my permission to be angry. Okay, and give yourself the permission to be angry, but just pot the distractor implant of anger, rage, hate, fury, because that's kind of like, it puts you in a very dark cloud through which you don't have a clarity. All right, so pot the distractor implant and just be angry. I mean, what a gift that can be to the world and to you. And like, if you really want to go further tonight, like, make a list of the times that you got angry, pot your judgments of it, and then look at that list again and see, did you create a change? Did you stop something? Did you create a change? Did you teach some fucker a very good lesson so they don't do that shit again to anybody? Yeah, that is your potency too. You don't have to necessarily choose the whole anger and trauma of it, but you can acknowledge. And then there are such cool ways, when you get beyond it, there are such cool ways to be angry without letting it show on your face. And that to me is like totally like the queen behavior. Like, it will not show up in your face, but you can totally be the energy of anger and a potency that can create a different possibility where either people step up or they step out. And that's your view. Yeah. Go for it.
So I don't know if you can hear me now.
I can.
Oh, fantastic. So one thing I really battle with is sometimes I get angry when I don't necessarily want to, like I will lose my temper kind of angry, and I can't seem to stop myself in that space. So I understand it's a distractor implant.
Yeah.
And if I had the time to kind of remove myself and go and pot and pocket,
yeah,
it would be one thing, but it comes up and it's so huge and so big that, if I'm pushed too far, I'll end up shouting and being a total bitch. And so I'd love to be able to clear that kind of anger, which isn't really helpful.
But here's this thing about, sweetie, about distractor implants. Like, right now, you're not angry. So even if I pot the distractor implant, it'll work, but the distractor implants work pot-poking the distractor implants work far more dynamically when they are activated. Okay, so, but don't lose hope. All right, and may I just say again something that I have really been through. I get what you're saying, like when you get angry and it's like you just you you go, like, you go for it, and not but you can start building the muscle. And be kind to you if you forget to pot the distractor implant when you get angry. Okay. And by this, can I also just say one more thing, Janine? This doesn't apply only when you are in the explosion mode. With anger, you start getting angry a little bit before, 2 days before, 2 hours before. Okay?
Yeah.
I tend to implode more than I explode. Like I don't,
Yeah.
I try to
Yeah.
keep it from the outside for
Right.
a long
And
time.
even before that whole intensity shows up, it starts building up a little bit before. Or for how many years it's already been building up that now you just implode or explode. Yeah. So what invention are you using to create the distractor implant of anger, rage, hate, fury you're choosing? Everything that is times the godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, online shows, boys and beyonds. Um, Run that clearing and just make a demand, or I don't know, like not from anger, but like commit to using it. And this is what happens. This is the beauty of choice, guys. Like a lot of us don't choose because we are like, fuck, I don't think like I'll remember it. No, that's you trying to think into the how. That's you trying to go into, oh, how will I remember it? No. Instead of that, choose it.
And I get you to repeat it because that one, you know, when it's a serious one, it seems to just glitch in my brain, doesn't hold it. So I'd love to actually write that one down.
Yeah, I'll repeat it again. And the thing is, it's like, just choose to practice, just choose to use this tool. And what will happen is, and this is where the universe has your back, consciousness has your back, you, the being, actually has your back, where the mind probably cannot sense that, but you'll be surprised. You will, a lot of times, you will also end up remembering that, oh, okay, anger coming up. Okay, cool, pot and pock, the distractor implant. So, and that is the magic also. All right. Just choose in these 10 seconds, just choose to pot plug the distractor implants when the energy shows up. So I will just give you the clarity. What invention am I using to create the distractor implant of anger, rage, hate, fury I'm choosing? Okay. Anger, rage, hate, fury, they basically these are energies that kind of go hand in hand. Like anger becomes rage, and under the rage is hatred, and then it all just comes as fury, and then either you implode or you explode. Okay? Cool. How are you guys? And it's like after reading the lady book, like it was such an interesting it's such an interesting journey, like as you go through as I went through the book. It was about where, like, I would read something, and then like there would be tons of clearings that I would create on just basis of that one page, because there are so many energies that that I started to get aware of, where that cut you off from having or being the lady. All right. And then this whole energy of like committing to receiving everything. And it's really about, it's not about creating a new you. It's more about finding the abilities that you have. Thank you, Priya, for writing that down. It's about finding the abilities the hidden abilities that you have, that you can now use to show up. Like one part we have in the lady conversation is about do you dress up based, like, what questions do you ask even before dressing up? Okay. And it's like, and I know that I used to always ask my body, like, hey body, what would you like to wear? But I love the part in there where Gary also started just talking about what if you could you could ask a question about what can I wear that will create more kind people in my world? like, I mean, Gary talks about like, okay, that will create a kind man to show up in my world. And what if now you could expand that to, okay, that will create more kind people in my world? What jewelry can I wear? That will, and these are things that your mind cannot compute, but they are kind of like beautiful questions that are beyond that as well. Okay, so what can I choose that will, so what can you choose that will create kinder, more contributing people to show up in your world? What can you choose that will create, you know, well, okay, get a sense of what would you like your life to be a year from now. Get a sense of what would you like to, okay, what would you like your life to be like in 5 years from now? And now ask yourself, what can I choose for that to show up in the now? And if this lady book club is a contribution to you, it's like we've kept it at a price where it's not, the price is not a concern anymore. Like we've kept it at a very low price. And so just ask yourself, if it's a contribution to you, if the get a sense of, and the lady energy is also about having access to the energy world, which is your reality. Okay, so get a sense of what would you like your life to be like in 5 years from now? What energies would you like? And now ask yourself, would this book club be a contribution? And it'll just, does it match energetically? Would it be a contribution to creating that future for you in the now? What if you didn't have to wait 5 years for that to show up? What if you could start having it in the now? And that is your amazing ability to go beyond time and create beyond time. Right? So everything that doesn't allow you to have total clarity and ease with that, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, for whole nine shows, boys and beyond. And regardless, like, please read the book. It's a beautiful book. And yeah. And oh yeah, oh, by the way, guys, like we also have a group SOP session that will be gifted to the participants of the Lady Book Club. So, and we'll announce the date for that. Like it was going to be tomorrow, but we're going to announce a new date for that. But that the group SOP session would be a gift to all the participants of the Lady Book Club as well. So if it's fun for you. Anything else, ladies? Anyone else has any questions?
And I think not
Yeah.
just a lady, but a gentleman also can come to join.
Yes, absolutely. Because it only not gives you, because, okay, get a sense of like how many lifetimes, ask yourself, how many lifetimes have you been a man? Get energy of that. How many lifetimes have you been a woman? Get energy of that. And a lot of times, the women, the infinite beings who are choosing a woman body, they probably have been more men, and the infinite beings who are choosing a man body, they probably have been more women in previous lifetimes. Okay, so it's like, and there is so much, because you're an infinite being. You have ability to choose all the, like, for me, like the Gentleman Club and the Return to Gentleman book, like, then the clearings in it and the information in it is such a gift to me. So it's like, it's the same way, like the book lady is such a gift to men, because like they can start having those in their world. And would you not like to invite more ladies in your world? Like the lady, like, would you not like to invite, even if you have women in your life, even if you're married, even if you have a daughter, what if you could be that person who could contribute to them in choosing to be the lady that they can be? So it's such a cool education in that as well. Cool. Awesome. Anything else?
Just want to announce that we start on Sunday with the Lady Book Club.
Yeah. at the same time, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, at the same time that we started this.
Mm.
Yeah, and the recording will be available, and we'll have a WhatsApp group, yeah,
Yeah.
for the participants, for participant chat. So it's not going to be only about just showing up on the calls. Like, please have the communication going. Like, whatever you want to ask, even the days we don't have the call, and you can post your questions on the WhatsApp group. I'll be happy to address them for you. And what adventure can we be on, and what can we choose from here? Okay. Cool. All good? Yeah? Cool, guys. Thank you. And 6 calls Wednesdays and Sundays. Oh, thank you. Actually, even I forgot. Like, I'm just kind of losing what day of the week we have stuff. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys, and have great adventures. Enjoy the book, and thank you so much for playing.
Shivam, I have a question. Can I?
Sure.
So as you were mentioning about the anger being explored, there's an explosion of anger. So once that is done, already done, like I did recently experience this. I was very angry about something, and like I just came to know that somebody actually cheated me upon, like, with something, and I really, like, it was like an explosion for me, and I actually confronted that person, and it landed up into a heated argument. And like, I didn't go into question, so it's like, the bullet is already out of the gun. so so now, like, I what do I do now, like,
Well, is pot book all your judgments you have of it,
okay.
and just ask yourself this question: what awareness can I be to erase all of this with release?
What awareness can I be to erase all of this? Okay.
See what shows up.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And
Thank you so
also
much.
ask, you're welcome. And also ask, what's right about this I'm not getting? What's right
Pardon?
about me I'm not getting?
Yeah, I did. After that, it was more like I was angry and I wanted to confront. So I didn't want it to be in question, and I wanted, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted that. At the same time, now when I read in retrospect, I, uh, I get this awareness. I could have handled it differently.
Cool. And and great. Like how you just said it. That's an awareness.
Yes.
Right? So that's a future awareness. And how cool that this choice created that awareness for you. You always be grateful for the awarenesses your choice creates. Because that is the purpose of a choice. Creating
Yeah.
awareness. So how cool that is. What a gift.
Yeah. But that relation is already like strained, and it was a close
Well,
relation.
is it already strained, or was it always never yours anyway?
Yes.
And one thing I know, people who stick by me, they stick through my anger explosions as well. They have my back through that as well. And those who don't, they never did.
Mm-hmm.
So great purge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Today's call was really a contribution. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I just changed my device because I wanted to interact. It was on that television thing. So,
Okay. Cool.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you for your question. Cool. All good, guys? Thank you so much. Bye. You're welcome.
Thank you, Shivam.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Shivam. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you,
Oh,
Pina.
you can also
Thank you,
hear the
Shivam.
recording, right? The recording.
everyone.
You
Yeah.
listen. Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you, Shivam.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.